Hashem. We're learning Likutei Moharan. It's a wonderful book. It's not such a long book, but for us it takes time. What can you do? You want us to start from the beginning again? Or in Torah? What's going on? Here we are. Yes, exactly. Mem Zayin. Torah Mem Zayin. Yes, Torah Mem Zayin, Likutei Moharan. Rabbeinu is telling us, בסדך לי ומתך, כשתסדד את הבהמיות, אז יתגלה כלליות הגוונים. When the person will take over his body, every human being, he's got two parts of his soul, of his being. One is his soul, his spiritual soul, and the second part is his body. So we need to know that, like a rider and a horse, who is the rider and who is the horse? You need to choose. Sometimes the rider let the horse lead him when it's okay for the rider. But sometimes the rider needs to take control on the horse and to tell him exactly where to go to. So when you have that power to control your enemy, your animal, your body, so that's what it means, לסדד הבהמיות, to take control on your animal. אז יתגלה כלליות הגוונים, so then all of the beauty of your soul will be revealed. Exactly like I'm writing in my new book. That when a person, he's got control on himself, so on that person it's written, Moshel berucho miloked ir. That when a person controls his spirit, so he is even greater than a person that takes over control on a whole city. Think about that hero, a huge hero that is able to take over a whole city, to control the people who are not going to go out from their houses, no one can escape, everyone are under his control. Oh, so it's a big hero, right? But if a person controls his own spirit, controls his own soul, means he controls himself, he can decide what he wants to do and what he doesn't want to do, and the horse will not going to decide for him to which direction they're going to ride. So that person is greater than a person that can control a whole city. Means that to take over your will, control your own body, is a greater mission than to be the best warrior, the best soldier, and then he can go and hurt other people, can insult his wife, thinking that he's so unique and special. Just his arrogance is controlling him, and he's hurting the ones that he loves. People can think, oh wow, he's so amazing, he's so great, he's a hero, and in his house he's acting like an animal. So who is he? If he doesn't control himself, so he's nothing. So Rabbeinu is saying that when the person controls himself, so then he can reveal all of the colors, all of the shades of his soul. Because everyone got a very unique soul, a very special soul. And we can talk about it for years and we still don't understand what we're talking about. Because from inside, we are connected to the source of life, to the Creator Himself. So all of the beauty of the Creator, all of His powers, all of who that He is, can be also reflected through you. Think about now, take the Creator, that He is an endless, He is an eternal being, and He decided to put Himself in a cell, in a prison, in a box, in a body. Now, let's say that He did it. Now, is it really limiting His abilities? He's not like us. He's not like a person that if you put that person in the prison, in jail, that's it, he cannot escape. If it's locked, if it's well guarded, that's it, he's there for life, he cannot run away. But the Creator is not like that. Why? Because He's really spiritual. So there is no body that can contain Him. Just only the fact that He wants to live inside of a certain body, in a certain He's limiting Himself to a certain border. So that's the only thing that is setting Him over there, that is forcing Him to stay, His own will. But if He will want to break those bars, if He will want to escape, to go out from that limitation, constricted situation, so it's not a problem for Him. He is the Creator. He can do whatever He wants. So the Creator, while creating us as His vehicles, as His outfit, as bodies to contain our soul, that it's actually God's real being inside of ourselves, He set it, He created it in a way that if we will want to set Him free, we're able to do that. And if we will want to cover Him and to leave Him over there, to deny Him and to ignore His being inside of ourselves, so He's trapped inside of us. That's how He created us. So He gave us the opportunity, the ability to reveal His light through ourselves, and when we're doing it, so we're exposing Him. So every person, if he will just gonna set his soul free, will let himself be who that he is, he will see that he will find powers to break every obstacle and to go through every difficulty, and he will know how to deal with everything. Yesterday night, I was casting live on Facebook, and I said that a person is not afraid from his so-called enemy. Just he is afraid from his own fears. If now you stand in front of a person, you're not really afraid of that person, oh, what that person can do to me, because it might be that that person is not your enemy at all. It can be your best friend and you don't recognize it at all. So you cannot be afraid of someone that is not your enemy. What you are afraid of? You're afraid of your own thoughts. You think to yourself, oh, he might kill me, oh, he might take something from me, oh, he can hurt. So you're afraid of your own thoughts. You're afraid of your own fears. You're not afraid of the enemy. If you would really know that that's your enemy, you wouldn't think twice. You would kill him, you would fight with him, you would run away, you would choose a way, you would do something with yourself. Sitting and being terrified like a rabbit, like a bunny, like a chicken, it's only because you're afraid of your own fears and you give them the power to take over your mind. And then you're terrified. What am I going to do? Nothing happened. You just got one letter from the government, or I don't know what, from the city hall. What am I going to do? What are they going to do? What can they do to me? Nothing. Really, they cannot harm you. Really, nothing can happen to you. And people are afraid, oh, they're going to take my house. Let's say that they will take your house. Let's say that you will not, oh, that house, I was working for that house 30 years of my life. Let's say that you cannot stay and you must leave. And now what? Oh, so what? so leave. Okay, so now you're going to go. What's going to happen to you, really? You're afraid of dealing with those emotions. You're afraid of dealing with those thoughts. You're afraid to deal with... But if Hashem just wants to take you to another place and you have another place to be in, is it really, can you see the difference in living in your own house than living in a rent house? Really, can you feel the spiritual difference between saying brachot in your own house than saying brachot in a rental house? Can you really feel that? There were huge righteous people that said, I'm not buying a property in Eretz Israel. There was a righteous man, what was his name? The Rosh Yeshivat HaMekubalim, the Rav, no, but the one that, his student, Rav Yosef, no, his student, Rav Tzion Buracha? No, I'm not talking about him. No. That someone that Hasid Gur wanted to buy the yeshiva for him. Rav Tzion Buracha it was? You sure? You sure? He's buried close to Rav Mordechai Sharabi? That's his tzion, close to him? One floor in the bottom? Maybe. That's what she's saying. I'm not contradicting you guys. I'm with you. So someone wanted to buy for him every month they were struggling on how to pay the rent for the yeshiva. They didn't know how to pay the rent. He had another name, Rav Tzion Baracha? Chaviv. Yeshivat HaMekubalim Emuna Center. So, Rav Tzion Chaviv Tzion, what was his name? So, every month they were struggling on finding the rent, how to pay the rent. And one month, someone came to his helper, to his shamash, and told him, there is a chassid, gur, that he wants to buy you the building of the yeshiva. That's it. It's a miracle. It's fantastic. It's amazing. We're going to have our own house now. We won't have to be worried every month how to pay the rent. It will be ours. He said, I'm not buying no house until Hashem will have his third temple, the third house, the house of Hashem. I'm not buying no property in Eretz Israel. He couldn't. So you know that you need to buy a house. You know why you need to buy a house? Why you want to buy a house? Because you're afraid from those feelings that you are afraid from those fears that you had last times when they kicked you. There's no connection to the house at all. You're just afraid to feel the feelings that you felt in the last time that someone told you that something gonna happen to you now. It's just your imaginations going wild inside of your skull. So just reset your brain and relax and think, what can happen to me? Let's say that I'm going to be out of my house. And then what? And now what's going to happen? I'm out. And now what I'm doing? Looking for another place? Okay, I can do that. You can deal with every situation. Oh, you're afraid I'm going to have to put all of my things in boxes again. And if you're going to be must to do that, you're able to do that. If you must do that, you're going to do it. It's not a problem. Now there was a huge fire still going on, a huge fire in the Holy Land. And people lost 50 years of memories, people lost 50 years of building that house and designing that house. So what? And so just refresh your life. I'm not chas shalom disrespecting those emotions. It can kill a person. But only if that person gives the power to that feeling. Okay, so you lost your house. You're okay. You can continue. You can rent another place. You can sue the government. You can ask for פיצויים? Compensations. You can demand, you can ask, you can go, but you don't have the power to do it. Why? Because you're rather to hide yourself like a bunny rabbit and to be afraid and that no one's going to make you deal with life. Hashem wants us to break those fears. People don't understand the mission of serving Hashem Yitbarach. Really to commit yourself to find their inner connection to the Creator, it's by the will of the Creator. It's not by how that you think that you should do it. It's what's really Hashem Yitbarach wants for me. Sometimes Hashem, the Creator, He wants you to deal with your fears. There is a mitzvah, an obligation. You're not allowed to be afraid of no one. Lo taguru mipnei ish. You're not allowed to be afraid of no one. That's one of the mitzvot in the Torah, in the Bible. You're not allowed to be afraid of no one. But you're afraid of your wife, and you're afraid of your parents, and you're afraid of your landlord, and you're afraid of your husband, and you're afraid of your children, and you're afraid of your boss, and you're afraid of your colleagues, and you're afraid of every police officer, and you're afraid from the government, and you're afraid of people. You wish to be afraid of God, or at least you claim that you're afraid of God. You're afraid of God. Yeah, right. You don't know who He is. How can you be afraid of, or you're afraid of the unknown? You're afraid of the unknown. You don't know who He is. It's written. We're afraid to deal. We're afraid of our own emotions. We're afraid of our own thoughts. We're afraid of our own trauma. So every time we're coming to the same situation, we act like that. Oh no, I don't want to deal with that. And then you run away from who? From yourself. I told you that 1 year and a couple of months ago in the Sukkot before the last one, in the night of Avraham Avinu, in the first night of Sukkot, I was lying in the sukkah, and bad thoughts of fears start attacking me again and again and again. And I didn't know what to do with myself because I wanted to escape, run away from my mind. I didn't want to there was no enemy, there was no one there. It was only my thoughts. And I realized if I'm going to sit and talk to my wife about it, I can kill her with my thoughts. I can destroy her. Just sharing my feelings it can destroy her for sure. That's not the right way. My children don't have the ability to hear. My students, for sure, too weak. So what I'm gonna do? My kids, at least they love me. So with my kids I can talk. But the students, they're only weak. They love me, you say? Like you're afraid of Hashem, maybe. Yesterday I had a chidush. One of my students helped me with this chidush. There is a word that calls talmid, a student. And there is a word that says tamid, always. So how can the talmid, the student, can be a student forever? Can be tamid talmid. How can it be tamid talmid? What's the difference between tamid and talmid? Always and a student. The letter lamed. Lamed. That's the difference between tamid, always, to talmid is lamed. So that the talmid will be a student always, he needs to have a lamed. What's a lamed? Lamed, it's like lomed, learning. So if the student wants to be a student forever, he needs to learn forever. He needs to have that lamed, to have that will to learn from his rabbi, always. Only then he can be a student forever, always. You want to be a student, and it's not only when it's comfortable for you to learn from him. You need to learn from him always. Always, always, always to learn from him, always. To want to learn from him always. That's the only way that you can be his student forever. If you're ready to learn from him always. Even when he tells you on right that it's left, on left that it's right. Also when he's smiling to you, also when he's rebuking you, also when he's hugging you, also when he's rejecting you. Only when you're ready to learn from him always what that he wants to teach you, not that you want to learn. No, I want to learn from you, Gemara. Okay, so it's not always. So I was lying like that in the sukkah, and I was just terrified. Just horrible thoughts came to me. I was worried about this and about that. Many foreign thoughts, many thoughts. And I realized I don't have no way to run away from my thoughts. I'm going to have to deal with them. And it gave me a lot of power, because I saw that after that I was looking into the fear itself. I said to my fears, okay, let's say that the worst will happen. And now what? What can he do to me? Okay. So that person will scream at you. And then what? So your husband, your wife, they will not going to be satisfied from you. And they're going to tell you. And then what? You can apologize, you can deal with it. But you're afraid. So because you're afraid to deal with it, so you always live your life in denial, and you argue, and you rebuke, and you fight, and you're insulting, and you're hurting, and you're defending yourself just because you're afraid to deal with rejection, to deal with authorities, to deal with with pain, with the fact that you don't have confidence in Hashem. Why are you afraid? Let's say now you're afraid to receive a ticket, a fine from a police officer, or to pay some bills. You're afraid from the bills. Why are you afraid? What's the problem? You have money, you pay. You don't have money, you don't pay. Now, you didn't pay, you will sit in darkness. Are you afraid of the darkness? That's the reason you're afraid? No. You can turn off the light now in the middle of the day and to act like you don't have electricity in your house, and it can be a nice game. All of the family will turn off the light now, not using it can be fun. Nothing. Well, you make a bonfire outside on the porch. Okay, it's not a problem. That's not what you're afraid of. You're not afraid of being stuck without gas or being stuck without electricity. What are you afraid of? You're afraid of your wife start being sad. Oh, really? That's what you're afraid? You're afraid that your wife will be sad. Oh, you care about your wife. That's why you are afraid? No. Because you can upset your wife and you can make your wife sorry and she can cry for hours and you won't care. So it's not really her sorrow. So what is it? Let's think deeper, one step deeper. You're afraid of her standing and blaming you on the fact that you're not bringing money. And then, so it's that she's going to scream at you? It's not that also. Because on other topics, you don't mind. She can scream and you don't care and you won't care. And she can scream and explode, break her head to the walls and you won't listen. It's not it. So what is? You're afraid to deal with the fact that you yourself really not sure that you're able to bring the parnasah, that you really don't have that confidence that you claim to have to bring money from Hashem. You're not so sure that the love of Hashem Yitbarach will bring the money to your hands. You're afraid to deal with the fact that you're not able to supply the money. So for that, you're afraid of the bills, you're afraid of the government, you're afraid of all of the companies, you're afraid, and now you go to work, and then you're afraid of your boss. The reason that you're afraid of your boss and your colleagues, and this is why you wake up, and this is why you're screaming at your children, and every morning is a nightmare, and you're fighting with everyone, and you hate everyone, and you curse everyone, and every driver is a dog, and whatever. Why? Because you don't have confidence that God is supplying the parnasah. Okay, so why not to go and to make that amazing investigation and to find out the reason for your sorrow, for your pain, and to go and solve the problem with Hashem. Go talk with Hashem Yitbarach and tell him, hi, what's going on? Where's the money? why you're not paying? Is there a problem? Is there any problem? Maybe I ruined something. Was it my fault? Start talking. Start opening your heart with Hashem. Tell him, it's written that you're supposed to bring me the parnasah, right? I think I read it in the Chumash once, in the Midrashim once. So, where is the cash, Hashem? You need my secret code? What, you don't know my bank account? What is the missing link? Where is the cash, Hashem? You need my PayPal account, my email address. What do you need, Hashem? How can I help you? And then that conversation will bring you to deal with the reality, with your fears, with your anxieties. People are falling too fast to imaginations. And it's very comfortable. Because by falling to imaginations, you exempt yourself from dealing with the truth. That the truth can be very painful because it's demanding real answers. It's demanding you to start being honest with yourself and say, I'm weak. I'm not able to supply money. I'm really not able to make money. No, really, I cannot heal people. I can pray, but I don't know if I'm going to be answered. That feeling of being hopeless 100% depends on the Creator, is something that is terrifying us. Why? Because we are all arrogant and we all want to have control and we all want to have the power to decide, but we forget that that desire is an evil desire that penetrates into our mind, to our subconscious, by the snake. That the snake came to Adam HaRishon and to Chava, to the first man and his wife, and told them, V'yitem kelokim, you can become to be like God. You can create, you can make, you can do. If you're going to listen to advice of Yetzer Hara, of that snake, you will have your own power. You will be able to create by yourselves. V'yitem kelokim, you can become like God. And that promise by the snake doesn't move away from our eyes. We still want to have that control. We want to be able to create, to decide. No, I'm deciding. I will decide. I'm gonna say. I put my foot down. I'm gonna decide what's gonna happen here. And when it's not happening, or when you're realizing that Hashem Yitbarach is just laughing at you while thinking that you have that power, so it's embarrassing you. Why? Because it's hard for you to deal with the fact that you're not on top of the world. But a humble person, or at least a person that wants to be humble, he will find the power to deal with the truth and to desire to reach the real truth, the ultimative truth, the truth that is bringing you to your real abilities, to your real powers. And then you can also pull down huge amounts of bounty and beauty and health and success and wisdom and wonderful things to this world, just by nullifying yourself to the fact that the Creator, He is the real king and not you. And you remove this husk of Ana Emloch, I'm going to be the king, away from you. You take it off. Instead of idolizing yourself like Haman HaRasha and saying, everyone need to bow to me, everyone need to listen to me, everyone need to follow me. That bad will is coming out of a fear that he doesn't want really to crown Hashem on his life. He doesn't really want to give the kingship of heaven to the one that heaven belongs to him, to the Creator. He wants to be the king. And he wants to be the king because he doesn't have real confidence in Hashem, that Hashem will give him what that he needs. If we would come to that understanding that the Creator, He loves you so much, and you don't need to be afraid not to receive, you would build that relationship with the Creator that based on loving kindness, on free love, on unconditional love. And then you would be happy. And Hashem would give you everything you need. And you wouldn't have to fight and to argue and to hate everyone and to have everyone as your enemies. You would just nullify yourself to Hashem. And okay, now I don't have money to pay the bill. I'll see what I can do about it. The only thing that I see now is that I can talk with Hashem about it. And then you go and you open a sincere, honest conversation with the Creator about your accounts, about your financial abilities, about your lack of power to supply what that you need for your children, for your family. And then that discussion would bring results, because Hashem is close to everyone that calls Him with truth. But while you're lying to yourself, and you're lying to your people, and you're lying to Hashem, and you go and you pray, Hashem, we need money, Hashem, please. You're not really asking it. You're demanding it. You're trying to run away from your commitment, from your truth, from your real lack of confidence in Hashem. Before of going and asking for more money, you need to go and heal your nefesh, your spirit from inside, and to develop the real confidence in Hashem Yitbarach. To deal with the fact that I am lack of faith is in priority, is more important than to go and to find money now. For people, it's very easy to run and to blame people in their own fears, in what that happens. Now there's a huge fire in Israel, and everyone are saying it's because of this reason, because of that reason. And the Palestinians, that's the biggest joke of them all, the thinking that it's because of the new rule against the Muazzin and all of those nonsense. Everyone are making they have imaginations, and they're forcing the world to believe in their lies instead of dealing with the truth. instead of looking with your eyes to the truth, to the roots of the truth, and trying to listen. I'm not saying I have the answer for that question. Why we have fires now in Israel? Why the Palestinians decide? What's the reason? What's the hint? Myself, I haven't asked myself that all the way. I believe that if I'll go and make a deep investigation on that topic with Hashem, I'm going to go and have a long talk with Him on that, I'm going to come to the answer. When Rav Shalom and I were talking about the gays, we were talking about people that are gay, and Rav Shalom himself told me that even the biggest righteous people in this generation, they don't know the reason completely on why and how to help those people that felt that to be gays. We don't know the answer. Why is it happening? We don't. So he said to me, I think I need to go and do 6 hours itbodedut on that Hashem will open my eyes, that I'm going to see what's the reason for that. And then He will have the solution, the answer, how to answer those people. Why they have desire for the same sex, why they're attracted, and why they have emotions, and why they feel such rejection from the other sex. What's going on here? It's a question. So his answer to me was, I need to go and make a long itbodedut on that topic, a long investigation, until Hashem going to open my eyes to see. How are you going to take something, how are you going to receive the wisdom from someone if you're not crowning him and telling him, you are my answer? You want to come to listen to your rabbi on something. You want to learn from your rabbi. As long as you think that you can teach your rabbi, you're not able to soak, you're not able to receive from him. As long as you think that you have something to teach him, I'm not saying that you're not. But when that is your approach, when that is your way of thinking, I can also give him. So you're coming to influence, you're coming to give. So you're not open to receive. So as long as you have advice, you don't really come to learn. So this is why you're not learning. This is why you can listen to a class and it's not all coming in. You're not coming with the answer. In one class, you can learn so much wisdom that you won't have questions for 20 years. You can go and take some lesson and to go with it, and that's it, and all the way. When you come to understand the purpose of your being, when you understand what based on what the relationship with the Creator is, based on what? Really, my connection with the Creator is based on what? What is the real beginning of my relationship with the Creator? Not to ask those questions, it's just to live your life in a lie, in deny. Even if you're going to be frum, even if you're going to be religious, even if every morning you'll go to shul, even if you're going to be 100% modest, if you don't know what you're doing here, if you don't have a purpose of why you're doing it, if you don't focus, if you don't have an intention while doing it, so it's all external. It's all a lie. It's a game. Playing religious. Okay. One can play Jew, one can play Christian, one can play Muslim. Oh, it's all a game. It's a fake. Only when you understand it's a mission here. Hey, I have something to do. And then you need to ask yourself, is it really, am I really fulfilling my destiny? Is it really the will of the Creator? I heard the king of Morocco, he gave a speech, and he said that all of those terrorists, the suicidal ones, the ones that are killing themselves because they want to be famous and not to enjoy the fame in the end, don't even understand that they won't enjoy it. And they're telling everyone, listen, if you're going to kill yourself and kill our enemies, so you will enjoy, you'll be in heaven, whatever. He said, all of the king of Morocco, not king of Israel, king of Morocco, a Muslim Arabic state, land. The king of Morocco said, all of those people that think that Allah the merciful, that's what he said, that Allah the merciful and forgiving one will give them a share in the world to come, on killing innocent people, he will go to hell. He will go lost, to the Avadon, to go lost. Can you think to yourself that Allah, the merciful, and the one that forgives. He will give you a reward on killing innocent people, women and children, and men. Can you think that on Allah? That's what He says. And we for sure can agree on that. Can you think that God, that the Creator, what the connection, which religion you are, the Creator, the source of life, will He give you a reward on killing, on terrorizing people, on hurting people, on damaging people, on burning woods, trees, houses, buildings? You think that you will be rewarded? Is there any way in the world that by killing innocent animals, you know what, you killed animals, there were animals living in those woods, between those trees, there were birds that had nests with eggs and chicks on those trees. What are you talking? How can you think that it's the will of the Creator that you're going to burn those trees? Oh, you have an enemy. Great. Do you believe in your God? Do you really believe in your God? Yes. How you connect yourself with God that you believe in Him? Allah. How do you connect yourself with Him? You go 5 times a day to the mosque, to the misgad, to pray, to do what? You wash your hands, you wash your feet, and then you do what? You pray, right? Go pray. Go pray that He will take all of the Jews and throw them to the sea. If that's your prayer, if that's your belief, if that's what you want, great, do it. Go pray. Do 6 hours, 10 hours, 5,000 days in a row. Every day go to the mosque, pray, please Allah, the merciful Allah, take the enemies away from our land, from our country. Great, if that's your faith, go pray for it. I'm not arguing with you. I'll pray on my belief, you will pray on your belief, and we'll see what the truth is. To go and burn the trees, to go and kill innocent animals. Can it be the will of the Creator that you're going to do this crazy act, that vicious act, cruel act, to terrorize people, to kill people? That's the way. You think that is the way? It cannot be one with the will of the Creator, no matter which religion you are connecting yourself to, making up a new religion based on violence and cruelty. Your own selfish will, your own selfish bad manners and behaviors and attributes, your inner anger and frustration and craziness go wild. And you call it Quran, and you call it Torah, and you call it the Second Testament. You can call it however you want. You can call it Jesus, you can call it Muhammad, you can call it Moshe Rabbeinu, Mashiach Tzidkenu, you can call it Rabbi Nachman of Breslev, you can call it Relubavitcher Rebbe, you can call it in every name that you want. There is no number to the lies. That's a booklet. That's the truth. It's a booklet. That's a booklet. That's the truth. Great. But we can say on it that it's a cup, that it's a pen, that it's a car, that it's a house, that it's your ticket to heaven. We can say many, many things on it. But the truth is only one, that it's a booklet. Lies, we can make up as many as we want. It's a camera, it's an iPod, it's a squirrel, it's a porcupine, it's Dror Moshe Kasuto. You can say whatever you want. There is only one truth, what that it really is. And all of the rest will be lies. The Creator, He's the Creator. Now when Mashiach, the real Mashiach of the world will come, the real Mashiach will come. Now all of the liars will be disappointed and will see that they were wrong, that they were